Oh, there's also, there tends to be this button, turn on original sound.
You want that on?
Because then what that's saying is it's not pressing that on. So it has that on, which is great. And then if you click share screen, you got to do a little bit of rearranging. So I just do desktop 2. And now they can see what's up there. So then they all move here, which is pretty cool. But we usually get more participants than you can see. So then you got to kind of go over here. And you got to reopen the chat. And then drag it over. And then go to manage participants. And then now you can see them. So that's basically how it.
Okay.
I've taken a class with them before, but I haven't worked with the family together.
Oh, okay. It's pretty fun on this side. Okay. Yakech hawish to cut you on. Achwasago wanach switched naskin dalkuninach, Jininach, Dushinach, Dachadushinach, Hayatiach. Hechwasaklo Quati, Chwasatin, Kainach, Dachnach, Naskinach, Dalkuninach. Jininach we kach Kreateo Adan you Wushu Kautusha at way Kautusha art way possessive suffix. So those of you online, there's a couple of handouts, and so if you want to just take a minute while we're sort of getting set up here, go to tlingitlanguage.com, and under Learning Tlingit and Intermediate Tlingit, if you scroll down, you'll see tonight's class here, October 26th. Here's a possessive worksheet, which Anna Hook made for us, which we'll work through this evening. Chish. Here's your rules on possession, and then here's your pronoun and grammar kind of cheat sheet. And so I've got printed copies for those in the room. For those of you online, you might want to open those up, or if you have a chance to print, you can print them. They're there right now. You don't have to print them right now if you don't want to. If you want to just view them. But I'll hand those out, and then we'll start with our little readings in Tlingit. So there's one handout. Here's two. And then we'll also, the one document we'll look at on the screen and go through it together. But these other two will be good sort of sheets for you to reference while we're going through. And a couple, anybody got any questions before we get started?
What's the do so I get technical rounded ending voices?
Oh,
Closed open. Is there a technical one?
like a linguistic term, or like a Tlingit term?
Well, I just use round. But
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. So, well, let me pull this thing up. Let me pull out this handout because in the House Chatangi, we've got them listed a little bit different than in the other texts. And let me just check in. Can you guys all hear okay out there? Does it sound okay? All right. Just check. Okay. So the question was, what's the terms that we should be using for these different endings that we were kind of talking about? So the handouts that you can find on tlingitlanguage.com for tonight, here's the rules of possession. We've got them kind of summarized here. Let's see, what are the other ones? And then the other one we were looking at, under this Tlingit possessive worksheet, when we talk about the ending of a word, we say closed, open, you don't have to say unrounded, because rounded is just the sort of unusual thing. The rounded part, so what this sheet is showing you is closed means it ends with a consonant, open means it ends with a vowel, rounded means it ends with a W. That's your sort of baseline understanding of how this stuff is working. There's also, so if it ends with a W, it's rounded. But if you look in this middle category, any U vowel. So remember, we said there's 4 vowels. Each vowel has 4 options. Any of the U vowels. So that's U, high tone U, O, high toned O. Those are all the same vowel. They're just variations of the same vowel. And then any kind of G or K, which include underlined and ejectives. So uvular or ejectives. Those ones, any combination of those two will automatically result in a rounded ending. There's also a few things where the ending may have fallen off, and so you might put a possessive marker on there using these rules, and it turned out that it's just one of these very rare exceptions. For example, ka, ach, kawu. And then there's ones that do weird things, like sa would be ach, sa-yi. But if you had more than one name, they would be ach, sa-hu. And there's just these little weird little things. Who knows why? Like that one, the end might have fallen off a long time ago, but then it doesn't get realized in certain forms. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, away. Sunny hu. Yeah. Yeah. So when you put the K, and so sometimes you'll hear it when you put the diminutive suffix on there, the W will pop up, and then you just know there's some weird, like there used to be a W on there, like the word for lake maybe a long time ago was ow. I don't know. That's just sort of getting into the theoretical mischief. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So we've been doing these little. We've been doing these little readings. So here we are. Let's just sort of summarize what we went through. These are Vesta Dominics. So we got Dasawe. Let's just repeat the sentence after it. Dasawe ashu.
Dasawe ashu.
Du keek away hint would to get.
Du keek away hint would to get.
So what is that one again?
Why are you laughing?
What is she laughing at?
What is she laughing at? Her younger brother.
Her younger sister.
Sister. Fell in the water.
Fell in the water.
Sorry. Keek. Yeah. Keek.
Yep. And so we'll get to kinship. Isi akwekatakah.
Isi akwekatakah.
Dudushi kutbuchahi.
Dudushi kutbuchahi.
And how do we translate that?
Why is she crying?
Not why. We would say to why. Why is she crying? You'd say wanachsawe isi katakah. So the akwe. Whenever we see that, we know there's a question that's right before that. That's the question. Isi akwekatakah. Is that your daughter crying? Then you would say, is that your daughter crying? Is your daughter crying? Isi katakah. So then the question comes after the verb, right? Because the question marker comes right after what it's actually asking. So it gets a little tricky to see where to sort of put that. And then, her cat ran away. Kantuadak achit. Kashawe de towa ashku shautu khashe. How do we translate the first one?
The son is mad or something?
Yeah, my son is angry.
He doesn't want his hair.
He didn't want his hair cut, but now I see it's cut.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It already happened.
Oh, yeah. So we know it already happened because we see the perfective marker there. Shaudurhashi. So now we're talking about something that has already happened. He doesn't want his hair to be cut. Kesh away to wa'ashku. Shakwadurhashi. Oh wait, shagakdurhashi. Right, he doesn't want his hair to be cut.
And is it minus I because it's a subordinate?
Yes, so this is minus I because it's a subordinate clause. Ant IQ do yeti ashat. Oh wait, do ant IQ do yeti ashat. Okay, let's try it again. Ant IQ do yeti ashat. Take a clock away. What's the first one translate to?
Holding her daughter.
Is that your aunt?
Is that your aunt? So there's the akyu. So akyu, akwe, akya. Those are all variations of the get. Right? The get is in there. So that's marking the question. We go immediately before that to see what's being asked. Is that your aunt? And then you could have anything. Drinking coffee. Aunt akyu, kahwe atana. Right? Is that your aunt cooking? Right? And so there's all kinds of things. And then you could say, is that her child your auntie is holding? Aunt ayu to get a shut. So the get just moves over to there. Right?
And whose child is that?
Well, so that's who we're talking about, so that has to remain
okay.
who we're talking about.
Okay, it.
Right. It would just
Okay.
be weird to say, just like in English, like if you said, "Is that your aunt holding her baby?" Like you would just naturally assume that the her is your auntie, because then you say, "Yeah," and you say, "Oh, okay, that's your someone else's baby," so that has to be who we're talking about. We could switch it, so aunt. So then you'd have to probably make a longer sentence. And so what that one is, then would be you could say like, whose baby is she holding? Adu yeti sawe the at achat. And then the next one. Take a clock away.
No.
Away.
That's the way take a hina.
No, it's her aunt.
Yeah, no, that's my maternal aunt. Achid ayu. Dudlank asachan. Lekach inach dasawecha. Yeah, he loves his sister. That is my son over there. He loves his sister.
Yeah. That's very sweet.
Adu hasayu. Achunki ayu. Gook. Translate.
Who are they?
Who are they?
My friends.
They are my friends. Uchta usk achit. Skunde gut.
My son is going brushing his teeth.
My son is brushing his teeth.
He's going to
He's going to school. You better get dressed.
spoon day.
But it's future, right? Maybe this is good. It's not like it's happening right now. Shakaskik achkash. An kadeg kwagut.
My daughter's brushing her hair.
Well, someone is brushing her hair.
Cough when these.
I have to
Yes.
study those Kinship terms.
Yes.
We're getting there. My paternal niece is combing her hair. It would be the same verb. That's whatever.
She's gonna go downtown.
She's gonna go downtown. Like that. Nachwanach so. Jinda usk dutachkan. Atka wacha. Lekachinach dasawecha.
My grandchild is washing his hands.
His or her
His
grandchild.
or her grandchild.
Yep, is washing
Do,
his or
sorry.
her hands, right? And so it's interesting, like in Tlingit, in English you have to genderize it, which gets awkward.
He's
Going
going to eat.
Yeah,
Good sure.
he's gonna eat. Na yadesha da ach yeti. A Yesu show denuk. Na ye shada.
Being dressed.
Yeah, he's getting dressed, and this type of getting dressed would really mean like
Putting something over
putting
their
something
head.
on over your head. And there's other ways to say that, to say like put your shirt on, but this is one of the ways. This is probably not the more common way, but if you were really describing the fact that he's putting stuff on the top part of his body, then that's what he's doing. Second part? Yeah, wait, okay. My child is getting dressed. A Yesu shodanuk.
Now he's
What would be our cricket equivalent? We don't really have crickets. Like in Hawaii, they could do like a singing frog. It's nighttime, so we can't do raven sounds.
Frogs aren't seen.
Yeah, frog, I don't know.
He's still awake.
Just got up. Just got up. So shodanuk is to get up. And in this case, Yesu. And I think like yes, like Yesu right before a verb is like just now. But Yesu after a verb is like still by now kind of a thing. Like you could say like he just started eating chips. But then he's still eating chips, right? So if it's on the other side, it's still doing this thing.
If it's after, it's on the other
If
side.
it's after. Yeah.
Shada, that's anything, any clothing you pull over the top? Or, I mean, it just seems like, it just seems like a great word for pullover
Right.
or hoodie.
Well, so you could say ye'aya'u is to just be putting any kind of clothes on. But this ye shada'u,
something you pull over your
it has to go over the head.
shot.
So yeah, there's probably some kind of good hoodie verb in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing anyway.
Yadachatz achuch, ye'jinek wagut. That's the first one.
My husband is shaving.
My husband is shaven. His
He's going
face,
to
right
work.
face is built into the verb. Ye'jinek wagut.
He's going to work.
He's gonna go to work. Say what? We shall what?
Say what? We shall what?
Gandach nicht uwagut.
Gandach ne uagut.
Shukwai lekachinach atwas buchan painigi.
She's cold.
What woman is
That
cold?
woman is cold.
Is cold.
Second one.
She came in from
She
outside.
came in from outside. Right? So the gandach is from outside. Nech uwagut is she came inside. Right?
What
So-
would the future of that sound like? She will come inside.
Gandach nech wagut.
So it's the same as As in the previous one in terms of good good.
Yes,
It's
so
the
that
same
would be
verb.
this. And then you could say good or you could say kukwa.
Okay.
There's two variations. And then you say nesh kukwa gut, she's gonna come in. Or you say nesh de kukwa gut, she's gonna go home. So that's a little tricky with that nesh, right? It could be a noun or it could be what we call a directional preverb.
Towards home.
We haven't got and so well, the noun would just be home, but the nesh right there means to come inside, and you have to be inside to use that one, kind of. Okay. Dashuch kiknach akue. Okay, hold on. We had a question online. How would you say I came in from outside? Let's go back. Gandach nesh ubogut. Somebody who's not you two. How would you say I came in from outside? Well, so gandach nesh would stay the same. We would be looking for a type of pronoun to put there. And so the pronoun is going to be a subject pronoun for any type of motion. It should be a subject pronoun. So the pronoun is going to be cha. So you're going to end up with chwagut. Gandach nesh chwagut. I came in from outside.
Okay.
And the A is because it's ha and there's W, which is just ha.
Yeah, chwa.
Okay.
Gandach nesh chwagut. So the gandach, yeah, it should be high. Nesh chwagut. So that one's chwagut.
But it's one word.
Yes. And then you came in from outside. Gandach nesh iyagut. And we're not going to do the plurals because the whole verb changes. Just do one at a time already. Okay. Dashuch kiknach akuek. Dushatsu ausk chawu. It's the first one. Dashuch.
Washing.
Yeah, taking a bath. Dashuch is taking a bath. Dashuch is also soaking in the icy waters for strength. It just depends on the context. Kiknach, do we remember what that one is?
Isn't it?
Hmm?
I was gonna say, isn't it whistling? But I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I remember this one
Yeah.
was like really weird because we looked up the verb for whistling.
But that's in the second line.
Yes, so the second one, Alexa is whistling.
was
That
what I
he or she
remembered
is
too.
whistling. Akuek, he or she is whistling. So the middle one means like alongside. Like I could say kiknach, like something's alongside. Like if I was telling this wild story about this porcupine who was walking with me. But when you have two verbs, that means doing those two things at the same time.
Bathing with soap.
He's bathing while bathing, or bathing and whistling at the same time, however we want to say. So this is
And Sue is in there to also say that it's happening at the same time?
so could come at the end,
That's
but
right.
it's usually like, oh, I went and bought this too, or me too, or something like that. It doesn't usually work for verbs. For verbs, you got to take care of them a little bit differently. But you can also say dashuch kak aku ek. But it's specifically sort of pushing them together, these simultaneous actions. Right?
And what's the aku ek?
Whistling.
Oh, so it's
Which part? Aku e.
Bathing while whistling. And so then what's the second line?
Oh, du schatz a uskhawu. And then we had a question. Yeah, it's a kind of thing that just puts two actions together, just saying these actions are happening simultaneously. And there's different ways to do it. This is not the only way to do it, but it really has to do with like, hey, like, what is it? Rub your tummy and pat your head, right? Those things, right? So like, yejene kiknach aku eku, ajoy ditu sagu. She's whistling while working. And then we have he is washing his hair too. Do sha.
Oh, okay.
So this is the two parts. So we see it could work that way, right? You could say dashuch ka aku eku. Yeah, that works. And so you could do that. But the kiknach really has to do with like doing those two things at the same time. So it's just slightly different because you could say he's doing this and he's doing that.
Bathing, whistling, and washing.
Right, so there's these three things. So then the second one, so sometimes in Tlingit, and just like in English, like if somebody just keeps saying "and," you're like, just kick it to another sentence. Here we go. Achi akar dutuwu sagu. And then, there was another question. Can it be more than two actions? Maybe, but I think like we see here, another sentence was required for this third action. But then the s comes in there to say, and also doing this thing. So you know, when you start to stack them too much, just like in English, you probably could. Oh, she's taking a bath while whistling and washing her hair. So you could do that. So I think you could probably do that. The shuj kiknach aku e chadushatsu aus chawu. You could join it with the cha. That'd probably be fun. Okay.
My niece is singing.
Yes, my niece is singing.
She's singing.
She is happy.
Oh, she.
Adusawe ayeshu.
Adusawe ayeshu.
Kechasaka. What is the first one?
Who is that? Who is he smiling at?
Yes. Who is he smiling at? And if we said what? If we want to say who is smiling, how would it change? Adusawe ayeshu. Right? And so these are just little slight differences that show you like adusawe ayeshu, dasawe ishu. Like if somebody's really laughing, dasawe ishu. What are you laughing at? But the at part, like we need that in English, but we don't need that in Tlingit. So in English, like you'd say, I don't know, it's just the languages are structured different.
So smiling and laughing, the verbs for those,
The root is the same,
the roots.
but you get this ya in there, which means a face or a vertical surface. So you go from ashu to ayeshu. So the ya pops up in there. So then you'd say wushu, he or she laughed. And you'd say a yawashu, he or she smiled at somebody.
And no one knows why. We don't know why.
Oh, right. Well, no. Well, we don't know who. We don't know who.
Oh.
Right. Who is? So, and
We
if you
don't
want to
know,
say
basically.
why is he smiling? Wanachsawe ayeshu. And so that you just change that little question particle, right? Adusawe ayeshu. Who is he smiling at? Dasawe ayeshu. What is he smiling at? Wanachsawe ayeshu. Why is he smiling at something? And all the answers are kechasaku.
Can you tell me a douche again, please?
I do.
Oh, so a douche. So all that would change is it goes from a do to a douche. And a douche always means who's doing the verb, right? And so without it, we get who is the verb getting done to, basically. Okay. Haskin. Hashkashnik. That's so it.
They are sitting
They are sitting.
and they're gossiping.
They are telling stories.
Stories.
Telling stories. Neek. I just that was one.
Right, it's a neek, yeah. Right? On kaniki datoe hasa kanik. That would be their talking about the gossip in town.
The news.
Or the news. It could be just the news. It's a neutral word, I think. But if you say neek tate, that's a rumor monger. That's like
Head of the news.
someone's like, oh, did you hear about so?
King, like, kind of.
Oh, keen is for plural people to sit.
Okay.
So keen, this is one of those verbs where the end falls off in the command form, because you've probably heard to tell multiple people to sit. Kaike. So you see the end falls off. So sometimes it gets confusing. Like kaike results in keen, and also just haskin, and then to stand for plural people to stand hasnak. They're standing. And so it's a pretty unusual verb because it's just so short. It's just one. But every verb has to have a root and a classifier. So what's the classifier on this?
Okay.
It's a 0.
Oh,
All right.
that's a trick question.
Pretty. Oh, and they're telling stories. Yes, cheese. No, 0. Do you ducko in at Ache Hastitua Sagu. Like Hakenach. Do you ducko? I had this elder I used to go visit quite a bit. And once she lived in the sheep cook, where Kashan Dakahiti Aya Aye Kuwa U. The Hunt Aya to a Sagu, the Hunt Hagubi. Tlingit de Kanaka Shaguka. Take the hin, the in Kachunik. Dick Quagut, Gunish Cheese, Ixachan. You cake. Which akut awe shawat shan de khanti wakat. I do so. Ah, yidako awe. Like kakena. That's my boyfriend. There was an elder I used to really like to go visit in Sitka. She lived in a pioneer's home, I guess they call it. And one day I was there visiting her, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. And we said bye in Tlingit, and another elderly lady came up to me. Who was that? She was like, that's my boyfriend. Yidako would be her boyfriend. And so this is another fun thing. There's a pattern that's revealed here. Noun in verb. Verbed with that noun. So there's all kinds of things. Achatischa at tin. It could be tin, it could be in. Achatischa at tin awacha. He ate with a fork.
So she's dancing with her boyfriend.
She's dancing with her boyfriend. So noun in verb is to verb with that noun. There's all kinds of verbs out there. There's all kinds of nouns. But that really, that what we try to do is spot these patterns so we could fill in the blanks with some of these things.
Noun, verb.
Noun in verb. That's the pattern, right? And so it could be all kinds of things, right? Gukha in shachwachich. I hit him with the cup. Clubbed him, right?
In the head.
Yeah, in the head, yes. That is, you heard the head part there, good.
So they feel happy or they feel good?
Oh, well, so the tuwa as opposed to the tu. So we're just keeping an eye on that. And in the context, they're already dancing, so it's not they want to dance. They like dancing. They love dancing. Right? So this is the verb that you use for anything, like I love ice cream, I love dry fish, I love walking, I love whatever. That's what you use.
Is it they love dancing together because that is?
Well, that would be.
That's dancing. Okay, so.
Wuchin ashtay. That's the Tuwasigu.
They like dancing, is that what it is?
Yes, they like to dance.
Oh, okay.
And you can say they love dancing. There's a bunch of ways you could translate it. Tuwasigu is to want or to like. You cannot. There's no way to separate them. That's the same thing. So you gotta be careful, because if you want to say like, if you want to say, oh, I want to come see you, but then you start trying to shorten it and you say, tuwasigu, and people will be like, whoa, just gonna throw that out there in public? Maybe. Let's see. Oh, tin. Yeah, sorry. So this een can appear as een, tin, or teen. And it has something to do with the word that's before it. I haven't figured that out with speakers. I'm pretty sure it's going to be een. I don't have any good reasons. Een or tin. I've been corrected sometimes. I'm like, so, but a lot of times you'll say whoosh tin, and you'll say whoosh een. But those are both the same things. Whoosh and whoosh are interchangeable. Tin and een and teen are interchangeable. There's probably some rule there. There's probably some guideline there, perhaps.
So wooch is together specifically, and een is
Being together.
being
Yeah. So that's another thing is say whoosh een verb. It's to do that verb together. Right. Hagu.
Good.
An kadenach to art.
Unvoiced.
That we read it long these days. That's such a forceful picture.
I know.
I don't really get. I just really like it because I'm like, whoa. It's like I'm gonna take you downtown to beat you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go downtown, punk.
I grew up downtown. It used to be like that.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, but you're gonna go downtown first before, so maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just fun. Yeah, so there's the hagu, come here. It's only to one person. So remember that, it's only to one person. Because it's ha, and then goot is the verb. So there's another one where the root, or the end falls off, right? Goot, hagu. And ha is this place around us. Hagu. So it only works to say, come here over to this area. And we're going downtown. We're going downtown, punk. I'm trying. This one's so aggressive. Shkach. Oops. Shkach. Au de gach. We at Kutzku. Ta yi deke kwagut. So this one, we would usually write this as 3 words. Shka. Au de gach. We at Kutzku. This means to just. Oh, what does that mean? Sorry. You tell me, and then I'll tell you what I was about to say.
Pray.
Yes, the child is praying. So if you say shkach, that means he or she is praying or did pray, but not like praying for something. It's a little bit different when you say that. You take the, you just change it a little bit.
Go.
He's going to go to sleep.
He's gonna go to
He's
sleep.
going to go to bed. This is literally, ta is sleep, yi is under, day is towards. He's going to go under sleep. And that's how you talk about it in Tlingit. There's a bunch of ways to talk about sleep that we'll see in here. Ta yi de yanagut. Would the what?
Would you do what?
Banished word. Okay.
He's going to sleep. He's
He He's going to sleep, he's tired. So yanakut is it's happening right now. This is this thing that's happening, right? It's going to happen, it's not it happened, it's happening, it's in this process. With the quick, he or she is tired. Touch uwajak iyit. De ajun kshe. De kankinach dasa.
Is sleep. It's got a
That's sleep.
high tone now, though.
Right. So the CH on it, so that's, yeah, it's interesting, right? So like there's no, the tone gets lost there a little bit. So sleep is doing something. This is telling you, when you see the CH on some kind of noun, that means that's the one who's doing it. Because sometimes it gets a little complicated, so that's how Tlingit marks who's doing something. So you could say, ach ish, my dad did
He's
something.
already asleep.
Is it your son is?
So it translates, yes, it
Not
is,
asleep?
your son is sleeping.
Is sleep.
But the literal translation is sleep killed your son.
Okay.
So yeah, uwajak. If you just said like uwajak, like if you left the touch out, like uwajak, that would be like a terrible thing. Just like he got murdered or something. But it's kind of a fun phrase, but it's also one to be careful of, because if somebody just died, like literally, then that's not a phrase you'd use. You'd just say ta, iyit ta. Your son is sleeping. But that touch uwajak has something to do with like being knocked out cold, I guess is how you would translate it in English. Because it's
Out cold.
yeah. Because sometimes people fall asleep. De ajun kshe. And there's a little W. We put a W in there now. De ajun kshe.
He's dreaming, maybe.
He's probably already dreaming. So the day before a verb, It's gonna be an epic Tlingit movie. The day before the verb. One verb. So when day appears before a verb, it means it has already happened, right? So when the know-it-all tells you something, you're like, "De Cuckoo." I already know that because you're also the know-it-all. Okay, that's enough. All right, so that was a good review. I'll send this to you guys if you want to do more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're very fun. They're very useful.
Did you see the best of Dominic?
Yeah, I'll send, and I made this little slideshow so that they're in chunks.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way you can walk through it, like you go, so here's the first one, and they read it, and there's no translation. So it's awesome. And then they try to translate it, and then the answer's over there. And we're up to page 15. And just really useful, good things. All right, gang. So let's possess some things. So this is what we're going to look at. So the possessives, you're going to put a suffix on it to possess. So when we think about possession in Tlingit, just to kind of review, in English, the possessive marker goes on who's doing the possessive, right? So if you have John and paper, it's John's paper. But if you're going to use Tlingit grammar, you'd say John papers. So now the possessive noun goes on the thing that's being possessed, right?
Okay, and I'm sorry. The subject and object in that sense, I'm still struggling with this.
Oh, which
it's
one?
Embarrassing. So the subject is
That's
John, or is it the other way around?
Oh, there's no subjects.
Oh.
So these are subjectless, just to say, we're just put possessive markers on things, right? So what I was saying...
I'm struggling still with basic grammar.
Oh, it's okay. It's things that people don't talk about.
Right.
It's things people don't talk about. And it's weird. Like, I was explaining something to somebody, because they're like, is it affect or affect? I was like, well, affect with an E is a noun, and affect with an A is a verb. So there you go. And then someone has to chime in and say, oh, well, affect is also. It's a different word, but it's spelled the same. And that one's a noun. It's just like, get out of here. Yes. So that grammar is just weird. And the rules of grammar are weird. Because people know how to communicate, but it gets real hazy once you start looking into that process. That's just the way it goes. But if you learn a second language, you have to spend some time looking at that process. So, for example, lance. And this is my cup. So in English, you have lance, you have cup. So you'd say Lance's cup. So the possessive marker goes on whatever's possessing it. The dog's dish, right? In Tlingit, the possessive marker would go onto the cup. That's what I was saying. So if we're using Tlingit rules of grammar, we'd say Lance cups. So that's one of the first things to remember is that whatever's being possessed, that's the marker goes on the thing that's being possessed, right? So you'd say chone guchayi. So that's the thing, is it goes on to that thing. Ach guchayi. And then we have a set of pronouns that we can sort of exchange in front of it once we learn these rules. So now once you know that guchayi is the possessed form, ach guchayi, ha guchayi, ik guchayi, yi guchayi, du guchayi, hastu guchayi, ha guchayi. So that's the sort of process we're going to take here. It's just we're just going to learn how to put a possessive suffix onto something. And then we're also going to talk about things that don't get the possessive marker, and that's kinship terms and body parts. The body part can get it, but that means it's been removed. Right.
And the pronoun only appears when there is no specific noun, right? Person.
Yes, so there must be a noun before it, which includes pronouns. Yeah. And then I guess there are, if you want to get really into it, there's a couple body parts, like chao is hair, but it always has that possessive marker on it. Probably because it's easy to remove, maybe? I don't know. Might overthink it. Okay, so here's the set of rules. It gets a vowel, and the vowel is what shows that possessive. That's the possessive marker, is a vowel. It is usually an I. But if the word has a rounded end, it will be a U. Okay? So cha-wu, because it's chao. And really these rules, they're just saying, well, we need to put a vowel on the end and going chao-ye, chao-we. It's too weird to go front of the mouth, back of the mouth. That's all it comes down to. If you're already there, just keep going and make that sound. Ga-wu, sa-ye. If it's open and unrounded, it'll be yi. If it's open and rounded, it'll be wu. To know if something is rounded, it'll end with a W, gao, now, nu. Or it'll end with any combination of a U vowel and any form of G, K, or X. So like if, I don't want it to happen, but if my tooth fell out, it'd be ach, u, ch, because it's not going back in, right? Ach, u.
Oh gosh, I thought I understood this, and now I all of a sudden don't at all.
Okay, which part?
Like all of a sudden it just went.
When you talk about it, it doesn't make sense, but when you start doing it, it does make sense.
So if it ends with just a W, what about like a KW or
That doesn't matter. If it's a W, it's a W.
a W? Even if it's
KW
not,
has to be rounded, XW rounded. Anything that
those
ends
are all
with
rounded.
W
Okay, ends with W.
has to be rounded.
So I understand this in this context on the upper line, but then when we get down to all this W and then all of that stuff and then
All these are
of that below
rounded.
it.
And this one, there's a whole bunch of stuff there, but it's really any combination of U, the U vowel as the ending, and a K, G, or X. So for example, this would be uku, uku, uku. Well, those have to become G's. Uku, uku, uku. uku, 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 uku. Any of those, if there's a U on one side, there has to be a U on the other.
So if a word ends in any of these things, if you get to, it has to end in a U.
Yes, any of those will have a U. Any one of them.
If it has a U or long O sound before it.
Yes. So the vowel has to be some U form, and then any
It can
G,
be an
K,
I
or X, then you get a U after it.
Because all of those are closed.
They're all closed.
And then if it's open, like, then it would be the WU.
Yeah, so there's something about the G, K, and X where if we make vowels, like we go E, oo. To make that oo, we're already out there. But then when we call it rounded because your lips are pushed out, like the fishy face, duck face, kiss face thing. So once it's there, you don't go back to the E sound. Because to make the E sound, you gotta sort of do this kind of a smile kind of a thing.
I have a question.
Ah.
Are there any words that end in a G without a vowel after it?
That's a good question. I'll try and find. End of the G. Huh. I can't think of one.
I think it's just that only gets kicked on with a vowel.
Because maybe it's. Huh. Okay,
I don't think you end in any of the G's or D's or any of those ones that.
Yeah, there might be some consonants that words usually don't end with. Okay. I'll check that out. Then there's a series of unvoiced consonants that have voiced pairs. Right? And so it's a lot to think about, but this is why dogs is a Z sound. So it's a very similar rule to the one we talked about in English. So a CH will become a J, a T will become a D, a TL will become a DL, a TS will become a DZ. So, examples of this would be cheech, cheej. So it has to become a J. Hit, hitty, has to become a D. Cake, kegle, has to become a DL. Hoots, hootsy, has to become a DZ. Kook, cuckoo, has to become a G. Kook, cuckoo, has to become underlined G. Yak, yaku. And then, underlined KW.
So you just said the pook, and yet why wouldn't it be the upper OOK ending?
Oh, it's just like this. So, kook becomes cuckoo. So there's the sound on it.
So it's the G and the U. So it gets the G first and then.
Yeah, any version, any G, K, or X, any variation of them. If there's a U on one side, when it becomes possessed, there'll be a U on the other side.
There's also this transition from the unvoiced to the voiced.
Right.
So it's a double whammy. You have to do
Yes,
a double
it is a
translation.
double whammy. Okay, well let's just try some of these, and it's okay if.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Public in front of everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, let's take a break then. It's 6:40. Let's take 5. Come back, power through these, and we can start with some ones from beginning Tlingit too. I've got those ones.
Your spouse. It's automatic.
And then cut it
Your
short.
hand is on your body, it must get
Let's bring it back together.
But otherwise, you have to change it somehow to show that possession.
How's everybody doing? Huh?
Concerned.
Concerned? Good. Well, let's figure out how to. Someone asked how to throw things, right? This word Tlingit is like. Just embrace the fact that the complication never ends. It's always a joy. It's always fun. You'll never feel like you have enough. Just get used to that and just enjoy it, because it's just like this infinite place to wander around. Someone asked me like, "Hey, how do I say fetch?" I was like, "What are you throwing?" Right? Because bring it here. There's gonna be all these carrying verbs and even throwing. So we don't have to learn these. I just want to sort of. So you've got throwing plural objects like on ganastade yigakirich. They will throw you all into the furnace. Just a great sample sentence.
Wow. Or not.
You have throwing something while holding on to the end of it.
Mm.
So you see the sh in there, which means the end of something, like the edge of it. You have to throw a solid object, like a rock. This is throwing rocks. You have throwing a bundle of things, like a bundle of firewood, or an anchor, which has, you gotta, and the reason is you gotta think about how you throw it.
Mm-hmm.
An anchor that has a line, you don't throw it the same as a rock. You gotta, in a bundle of things, you gotta sort of, the way you hold it's a little different. Cuckoo, gone, click, don't throw your book outside.
Not your book.
And so what happens
example
here
sentences.
is the classifier changes. Because the classifier just says, oh, you throw that thing a little differently. Okay? And then you have to throw a ball, right? So now you get the ka, and this one means a spherical or round object. So that would be to throw the ball. Right? So kakik would be the command form of that. Throw me the ball. Then you have a stick-like object, like a pencil. So you see the classifier change. We still get the ka. And then you get a non-rigid. So this is how you throw people. Right? So you don't throw people the same way you throw, or dogs, whatever. If you're gonna, yen shut hitch. That's what, like when your toddler maybe throws a big fit. But this is like I was saying, would be like maybe a bouncer, right? And this is how you throw liquid. So it's the same, has to do with this, it's a non-rigid object, and you get the cup kind of on there. Throw something so hard that it scatters. So this is how you throw your money away. Okay. Donna away. I'm going to just throw my money away. And I was talking with Ella, we would just make that joke because they were waiting to get paid. To throw a spear, siku. So there's probably something with that. It's like a poking type of verb. Throwing a stick outside by the end. Gook is also to push something onto something, especially with it, like, pushing a stick onto something, or with a stick or something. To try and to make it into a missile, that's a little different. So now I'm not just throwing something, I'm trying to hit. I want to hit that tree with this. So now you got to turn the whole verb into this missile verb. And then you can see you can put the head on there. So this is, like, say you're having a snowball fight. This would be snowball fight. And this would be really mean snowball fight. Like, your goal is to like hit someone in the face. Isn't that kind of a rule? Like, not in the face. Right? So then
it depends how many of them there are.
Prohibitive. And then you have to say with something, so you see the way all that's going to be. Then throwing stuff away. So this is what you'll see. Tlingit likes to really classify things, but it all comes. There's an intense logic underneath it, which says, oh, you've got to do those things differently, because those are, if you think about it, those are all different ways of throwing, all different ways of sort of talking about that stuff. Okay, let's possess some simpler things. And then we'll move on with our kinship chapter. Who wants to go first? Why don't we try going online first? So let's go down my list. Okay. Das away.
This is messing it, right?
Yeah, just say the noun first. I'll say das away. Just say the noun. You don't have to say away. Just say the noun.
Don.
Yeah, away. Now make it yours. Own that money.
Ach, Donagi.
Ach, danagi. Yeah, away. Ach, danagi. So here's one of our exceptions. These things that end with the double A, it all gets short and long. It kind of abandons the rules. Because the other rule that we didn't talk about earlier is the tone is the opposite of the vowel before it. So we see this one, sigi. It goes up, so it must come down. And if it's down, it must come up. Okay, let's see. So that was tana. How about chukun? If you don't have a microphone, you can just type it. Da saway. Okay, qashtish yatu. Qashtin yidkhuha. Da saway. Oh, okay. Let's go. Sheet cup. Cha'asa de tuasagushu kwa. Your cake and it's cheese. Own it. Possessive form. Cook. Achkawudi. Achkawudi. T to the D. Okay, someone else? Sheetka. Washakdu. Das away. Yeah, well, you can't own it because it belongs to a clan. But just for the exercise, make it yours. Yeah, well, Disi. And so you'll see this in the name of a bunch of months. Stik Disi. And it doesn't mean like for that month the black bear owns it. It shows a relationship as well. It's not always just straight possession. Okay, let's try Banka Itkoha. Das away yada. K-shish. So if that was yours, how would you say it? Yeah, away. K-shishi. Right, so we see that shishi and the SH, that's not one of those ones that becomes voice. K-shishi. Okay, back to Sitka. Shana Kate. Land or a town? Yeah, Achani. Yeah, Achani. So when we've heard Ha'ani, Tlingit Ani. So we've heard a lot of these. Now we're just figuring out how the stuff works. Your cake and cheese. Let's try sage. Das away. Ach. Yanashtuk. Yitkoha. Das away. Okay, Hishwasa. So this one is Gish. Gish. So the possessive form.
Gishi.
Ach, gishi. So we see the I gets added. It's high tone because what's the vowel before it? Low. So that's how it goes. Okay. Natalie. Das away.
No. Yellow cedar, right?
It's just firewood.
Oh.
It's firewood. It's wood.
¿Qué cosa?
Gun.
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 So you
Gun.
gunny.
Gun.
Gunny. So it's
Gun.
high and short, so and the other one, it doesn't affect the vowel. It just sort of comes after, but it's always the opposite.
Canast. Canast.
Cost.
Oh, I'm sorry, cost. That's a canast, is it?
Ah, yeah.
Cost. 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 Give me 1 second here. Cost. Cost. Oh, just costi.
Mm-hmm. Costi.
Costi.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what? Yeah. Shagit. Shagiti. Yeah, what? Yeah, what? Okay. Das away.
It's like all the words go on your
Cheech,
That's what it goes on you.
Cheech
I knew all of
has
them.
uchait spontaneous. Sometimes
Stage
they
fright.
eat the cheech. Heat.
Keith.
Okay.
Keith.
Kidi. So that T to the D, that's one that does make that switch.
Tom.
Yeah, what? Ton. Kakshakit with at your high. Kaisa on dot.
Just go ahead and possess us.
Case of what? Tom.
Tawny, right? Go ahead and try.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Woo. Actually, don't, because then you won't be coming back. It's just a metaphorical relation. Mitwa. Yain. Yeah, right. Yain. Yeni. Yeah, away. Yeah, away. Yata yisikuke das away. Lekach in a hill. Gooch. Anybody want to take a guess? Gucci. Yeah, away. Gucci. My hill.
I would I'm just imagining a really small person on the top just screeching that that's their hill.
Could you send it around again to give us over our stage fright? Let's give us another
What
shot.
has to to us agreed?
Nadag.
Yeah, away.
Nadago.
Nadagu. Yeah, away. Yeah, away.
Kushda.
Yeah, away.
Kushti.
That one, I'm not sure. It probably, I think you're probably right, but I have to ask the speaker.
I would have guessed Kushti unless you had told me that.
Right. Well, I think this one's probably Kushdayi because the da is probably some actual part.
Kushti.
Okay, let's see. Who
So-
went for I think tonight?
Yes. With his ears.
Yeah, away. That one's yours. You can have it.
Oh.
Douchey. Yeah, away. Yeah, away. Let's see. Who went second? I'll just go through my list. Shukun. Well, let's do all. Oh, Dasso.
Dushyati. Ach, dushyati.
Doucheyati. No.
Ah.
So if something has, it's a good question. If something has a relational marker, you can't put another one on there. And yeti already has a relational marker on there.
But if you said ach dushi yeti, it'd be like my cat's baby, right?
Yes, that would be, that's my cat's child. That would work. But for example, there's things like, so na is medicine. And there's like peppermint. Kushta nagu. My peppermint. Ach, kushta nagu. It's already got the possessive marker. You can't double them up. So it's already there.
So you'd say ach dushadi.
Yes. Kate yeti. Yeah, okay. All sheet ha yi ha. Yeah, what? Possess it. Ach, kutiya, yeah, what? And I'm going to car cross, I'm going to tell them you think that's there. Oh.
You just saw the slide.
You'd say, ikakwanik. I'm telling on you. Ikakwanik. Okay. Shitka. Dano.
Kanist.
Own it.
Kanisti.
Kanisti. Yeah, away. Yeah, okay. Shanakate. Kahak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, kahagu, but that one would be kind of weird. Only because kahak is also the word for is it kidney? Liver. Liver. So like if your liver was out there, like, which, you know, I guess that's your last words. There's a lot of like morbid thoughts today, so I thought I took this one out because yeah, kahagu, but you know, and so you'll see kahagu though sometimes, like, but usually you just say kahagu. So this is one. I think you could do it, but okay.
It's okay. It's almost Halloween, right?
Right. Yeah.
Could you go back to show it the possessive? Because I didn't quite see it.
Oh,
so
I
it
didn't
doesn't-
have it.
Oh, so it's
It would be. I'll make it for you.
Has there ever been any evidence about the things that share names like that there's some medicinal benefit or anything like that?
It's a good question. Not that I know of. There's all these names for all these I mean, they know them. They knew them all.
I've known a lot of my family members who drink, and many of them never developed liver disease. And they drank really hard, but the ones that I know of that never did, they ate a lot of this.
Huh, wow. There could be a relationship there, yeah. This might help your liver, right? Oops. Okay, let's see. We gotta go. Class 10. Das away.
Shakia.
Yeah, one.
Shakiate.
Shakiati. And so you see that whenever something's ut, it's going to go to adi, just like a lot of those clans do. Because those are all showing this relational thing. That's why all those clans end with adi, things that belong to whatever. Okay. Qitan qa. Ati. Yeah, away. I don't know if I kept going. I might run out. Okay. Let's see. Sage. Itkoha. Okay. Let's see. Janish took das away.
Very subtle evil laugh.
Well, that's because the way he's laughing, I think he might have forgotten this. Isakuga. Jaji. I always hear it long, but I see it written short. So the possessive form, yep, yeah, away, Jaji, okay. Jaji.
Jaji.
Okay, last go around now. Pass away.
Easy one too. Give me a second.
Yisakuga. Aducha osaku. Kashach. Kashach. Shao. Shao. I don't know if I have a possessive form of this one. We might have to make it as we go. No, I do have it. Qatin. Oh, yeah. I can post these for sure. I'll try and get them up to, but not the ones that we haven't done yet. Shawu. Shawu.
Can't remember that. Can I look it up?
Okay, you look up for me. Shayena.
Shayen. Shayen Nayi.
Shayenagi.
Shayen Nayi.
Oh, that's not the John.
It's general. Just want to do. Yisakuksha, that's away. Yisakuga.
Taway.
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 Taway. Get away. Get away. Get away. Tana. Tanayi. So it's going high, so it's going to have to come down. That one I don't think would go short either because it's not one of those. You're not tinning something. Keshkavut. Yuka ut. Yuka ute. Because there's no pinched D. So that one can't trick.
Oh, can we go back and? So if it's a pinched T, it's not the same.
If that was a K, then that would be a U. But the T is not the same. It's only the K, G, and X's that create that rule, where that has to become a U.
So then go to the possessed, please. it just is regular consonant.
Yeah. And then just a reminder, the texts for this class, you can get them both online, because I haven't gotten good. Heshach with Lachwe printed copy.
So that one is like an I.
Yep, so just the I goes on the end. Okay. Each koha.
Zait. Zaiti.
Zaidi.
Zaiti.
Get away. Yisukuke das away. Saw. Own it. Anyone? Aksayi. So then you gotta be careful so you get that T in there, else it sounds like my name, right? Eat. Eat. Yeah, what?
Oh, the high and low just made sense to me all of a sudden.
Yeah, so there's the G. Okay, well let's do some stuff with our Tlingit workbook. So we're shifting gears. So all that possessive stuff, it is described in Hausene Chayu Chatangi. And then then we just sort of keep going over these things. Like grammar rules like that, there's like a whole bunch of stuff to it. But then the more you do them, the more it just starts to make sense.
So could we take a stab at trying to finish this worksheet, and then maybe one of the instructors can go while you're gone?
You guys can do it while I'm gone. For now. Like.
So you're leaving?
I'll be gone the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Who's our teachers?
Us. And then
There's something about you guys.
there is class next week on Tuesday and Thursday. The following week, there's no class on Tuesday. And I highly encourage you all to attend the Power and Privilege Symposium. So they shut the university down for a whole day to have a whole bunch of dialogues on power and privilege, equity, cultural safety. It's a whole bunch of relevant stuff. There was some like white power graffiti that was discovered here on campus yesterday. So that's a part of sort of these conversations. We got to keep engaging in these types of things. I strongly encourage you to go. I would usually be presenting on something, but I'll be at the First Nations Fellowship. First Nation, I can't remember, I forget.
This Tuesday?
It's the fall next, not this coming week, but the week after. 10 days from now? 13. Okay.
Is that all day?
It's all day, yeah. So there's stuff going on all day long. Yeah, I highly encourage you guys to go. It's free. There's really good presentations, good dialogues. Parts of that will be online. I think they're working out how to broadcast stuff like that. We're trying to get a little bit better here at UAS. We can broadcast classes and stuff, but like whole big events, we're trying to get a little bit better at that.
What are they going to be doing?
What's that?
What are they going to be doing?
There'll be like keynote speeches, and so if you go to the UAS website and you enter power, privilege, it'll come up. And once you go to the UAS website, it should be right there.
Okay.
So
I went last year, and it was really wonderful. They had it the day after the election, the national election.
it was a nice little thing to
A
do
ball.
after that. Okay, so let's do some kinship terms, okay? So we're just going to we've been using ach, so let's use du. So we're talking about him or her. And this is, all right, well, let's just go through and we'll look at these And then, well, there's also some fun stuff you guys can do, like charting out your whole family. We all have families, and so there might be even people like, I don't want to put them on there, but just kidding. But so you can sort of branch out and follow these sort of kinship trees, and that stuff kind of helps. We've done exercises in the past too. I got this idea from Kaswoot, where like someone is the me, and then we all say how we're related to that person, and then we all say how we're related to each other. That's a brain twister there. For now,
Not ready for that.
yeah, we follow. There's in Tlingit we call them Yinanach. You have a mother's side, you have a father's side. That is all about, and things don't always work that way, but a lot of times, like this is all the this is all raven or eagle, and this is all the opposite, right? So you have a chunkiyan, a kaniyan. That's very important in Tlingit, whether people are same moiety as you or opposite. And so, and even whether you're Tlingit or not, you would sort of diagram this stuff out, and you could do it the exact same way through here. So we'll start with a mother. Dutla,
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 Duish,
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 Dukak,
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 Dukak.
And so these are not just blood relatives. This would be all of the males of the clan that are the same generation as your mother. All of her brothers, all of whether you're blood related or not. These are very important concepts. These would be all the women of the same clan as you, who are the same generation as your mother. Long time ago, it was common for your mother's sisters to also be called Achtla. You would just call them mother as well, because it was kind of a collective sort of thing. And this is the same thing. So we'll do these two, and we'll just say it one more time. Dusani.
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 Duat.
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 So you never, ever tease your clan opposites in public unless everybody is 100% certain that it's just funny. You got to be very, very careful with this stuff. However, there are lots of funny things about Sunny. Like they'll make, when they tease you sometimes, they'll just say, gee, they'll say, what kashi you us to kashi us to oh Sunny. I guess your uncle never taught you that. But they're just laughing. They're usually laughing when they say it, but it could be serious too. That could start the war. Right? We're always aware of the clan wars. And then when you say aught, yeah, what? And you'll see it, but you'll see lots of jokes about this too. Like there's a story that Danawak tells, and he's talking about Raven, and then he says, whoever's paternal uncle Raven is, please forgive me for telling this story. Right? And everybody's really laughs. Aunt. It was very common to go among your father's clan to go find a wife. So there's lots of teasing that happens with going to see your paternal aunties as well. Oh, that's a grandparent. It could be grandfather, grandmother. And there's ways to specify. You can say shawat dushik, ka dushik, the female, the male. And we did that, and we were doing those adjectives. Ka could work for an animal or a person. If it's an animal, you'd say sheech and if it's a human, you'd say shawat So there's a fine line there with some of these things. Okay. And so then you could start building it into some of these phrases, and so you could say like, "Kla away," that's his or her mother, right? do sunny away. And then, you sunny akwe. I say it to my kids all the time. You sunny akwe. They'll see like a mannequin or something. They get mad at me. Play it! Now they know. Right? So, there are some things that Tlingit does gender. And so these are things to just sort of keep an eye on. If you're a female, you don't have a hunch. If you're a male, you don't have a shatch. If you're a male, you don't have an eek. If you're a female, you don't have a glock. So these are really the only ones that have this sort of gender thing. Nieces, nephews. Well, you say son and daughter. That's one. But this is one where it depends on what you are, right? So as the females, they would have older sisters, younger sisters, and then brothers. And again, once we say sisters, we're talking about all those females in your clan that are in your generation. So this is where it gets kind of fun. Like you find out you're the same clan. Or like sometimes you just get really close with someone who's a different clan but same moiety. Like I have a friend, and then he called me Keek. And I said, Kunsai Katag, how old are you? And he was younger than me. I was like, Keek, go away. I get to boss you around, right? This is really important stuff. The command forms, the things like that, they can go down the kinship chart, right? Everything goes down. Things don't. The things that go up are the askings and the things like that. So, du shet, du shet, du shet, du shet, du keek, du keek, du keek, du keek, du keek, du keek, do eek, do eek, do eek, do eek, do eek, do eek, do hun, do hun, do hun, do hun, do hun, do keek, do keek, do keek, do keek, do glock, do glock, do glock, do glock, do glock, do glock. So as you start constructing sort of narratives, you also have to pay attention to what gender the person you're talking about is and what clan. Whenever you start getting into kinship, all that stuff comes to the surface. Do yeti, do yeti, do yeti, do yeti, do yeti, do yeti, do yetki, do yetki, do yetki, do yetki, do yetki, do yetki. And those two can go like any kind of noun can go in there too. Do shetki, kate yetki, speak yetki. Do see, do see, do see, do see, do see, do see, do yeet, do yeet, do yeet, do yeet, do yeet, do yeet, do dachran, do dachran, do dachran, do dachran, do dachran, do dachran, do keshk, do keshk, do keshk, do keshk, do keshk, do keshk, do kashk, do kashk, do kashk, do kashk, do kashk, do kashk. So in your clan, all of those little kids that aren't yours are your keshk. And the opposite clans, all those little kids are kashk. That's the differentiation between them. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. What matters is same or opposite. That's one that sort of gets confused quite a bit, just because that concept is sometimes a little challenging for
But that's
folks.
only the next generation below you, right?
Yeah, right.
And they're all grandchildren, right?
It kind of depends. Like if they were probably maybe 2 generations down from you, but you weren't particularly close to them, you might start with there. But it depends. Like a long time ago, those old people, like everyone was their dachran. Those little ones. They're just Cyril George would say that all the time. And that's what he'd say to all of us. He'd say, "Ach, dachran kiyan, ach tu shetzinech yisati." Oh, he was so loving and nice.
Is the diminutive already on that, or can you add it?
Well, yeah, it's in here. It's on here. It's on these two, I think. So that diminutive suffix pops up on certain kinship terms. So we have the place where we start to see it is here. Keek, little sibling, right? Eek, it's like a little father. Keek, little sibling. Gog. It's kind of like a little mother, but it's a little different than that. So a husband. Duchuch. 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 Dushat. 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 Duchan. 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 Duwoo. 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 And so then this gets into some sentences where you can start, you're combining things that you've already sort of learned. Achlich ayayadu. Du dachan ayachat. Achlich dachan ayachat. And so some of these you probably wouldn't really say, like I'm my grandparents' grandchild. It's just, even in English, it's kind of interesting. What this goes through is how to start using these in sentences, because then there's different things. So these are all different phrases you've learned before, but now we're starting to add these kinship terms in them, because the kinship is how you could talk about a whole bunch of people. Right? There's all kinds of different things we could put in here. And then at some point here, it gets into, there you go. Oh, here's a couple of new nouns. Okay, we won't do this. But this is the last thing we'll do. So there has to have a pronoun in front of it. But if you're talking directly to that person, and this is often a way that you can say hello, right? Is just by saying that kinship term. So if it is your daughter, you say sick. 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 Your son, yitk. Yitk. Your niece or nephew, same clan. Keshk. Keshk. Kashk. Kashk. Chunk. Chunk. Atlay. Atlay. Atli. Okay, Yuhan. Oh, okay, so yeah, there's a good question that's been put out. What is the plan for the midterm paper? What is the plan for the final? I think what we should do is we should just keep doing what we're doing. And I consider, what I would like to see when I come back is when we do these Tuesday, say your little thing, I want to do Tuesday short speeches. I want to ramp that up to Tuesday short speeches. You've got the weekend to write these little short speeches. And so when we say a speech, it's intermediate Tlingit, so I'm not like, okay, tell me the origin of the coffee cup. Right? It's not like something big, but it's just a little more substantial than one sentence, which is what we've been, let's just share something. So now you want to try and start putting some things together. Just little short things. Maybe we can work our way up to 30 seconds. Maybe we can get to a minute. That's a big deal. That is a huge, awesome thing. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just using some of the things that we've learned. That's what I would like to see. And then we'll bump everything else to the end. But we're going to start working on that stuff. So what I want you to write, a 2-page letter to somebody in Tlingit. And then I would like you guys to work together on some kind of presentation. And I saw this in Hawaii, and we ended up doing this like a while ago in an intermediate Tlingit class anyways. So in Hawaii, I saw this thing where we don't have to do this, but I'm talking about the way that they judged it. They took like this Hawaiian story that everybody knew, and then they kind of divided it up and everybody did a part of it. And we could do something like that if you want to. That's not the important part. But they came out and it was all in Hawaii. Well, this whole meeting, it's Hawaii, so everything's in Hawaii when you're hanging out with the Ahapunanaleo folks. But they would reenact this story and they would present it in their own way. And so like even though it's a really old story, they totally took ownership of it. And they were just doing all kinds of funny stuff. is it because this is what they did. They sat all their big people down. Like here's their big elder who's been there a long time. Here's Larry Kimura, who's kind of was one of the founding folks for this whole thing, and then a couple other folks. And whoever made them laugh the most was the winner. That's what I want. I want entertainment. I want it to be fun, and I want you to take ownership of some of this stuff. And that's what I want for a final project. For those of you who are online, what we'll sort of plan for, and this is second week in December is when all this stuff is going to come. So we still got November to work through some stuff. If you've got specific questions, you're trying to figure things out, you can ask here. You can ask in email. If you ask me through email, I might answer and then also bring it up in class because other folks might have the same thing. I'm not expecting, like, don't try and, like, I'm going to translate 5 sonnets from William Shakespeare. Don't do that. Just don't. Just no. Just keep it very straightforward. Just keep it.
I tried to do Kafka one time, and that was a bad idea. Game over.
Yeah. Just save that for, like, do that in years from now. We make that a lifetime project. For just like you're just gonna say something. That's all.
If I need to ask you questions through email, do you have an email address?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Cool.
LA Twitchell, TWITCHELL @alaska.edu.
Okay.
Okay. You guys are awesome. Shekach November, mid-November.
How
Teach you on.
Yeah, enjoy your trip. How would you say like the equivalent of bon voyage?
Kedain at Kunatin.
Kedain at Kunatin.
Kedain at Kunatin.
38+15.
Ah.
Like 15.
Travel.